Chuck here with Electric Scooter Guide, and you're watching our review of the Emove Cruiser. Stay tuned to find out why this is one of the best commuting scooters on the market today. This scooter comes in around $1,400. While not inexpensive as far as electric scooters go, you do get what you pay for. The stated range is 62 miles under ideal conditions. We tested the range on this scooter on our test track and found the actual range to be 34.9 miles. Also, we rode it on mode 3 and really maxed out the speed when it was safe. We rode how we would actually be commuting, and while we only got 56% of the manufacturer range, 34.9 miles is actually better than nearly any other scooter on the market today. Other high-range scooters in this price category would be the Speedway 4, Joyor Y10, Kuewa Q1 Hummer, and 010X. The amazing range means a large battery, and that equates to more weight. This scooter comes in at 55 pounds. I'm about 160 pounds, and while I can carry this up one flight of stairs, that is about my limit, and it's not a particularly enjoyable experience. I found myself using this scooter quite a bit for trips around town, but opted for a smaller, lighter scooter when I needed to use public transportation. In this price range, 55 pounds is actually about middle of the road. If you're strictly going for range at a lower weight, the Joyor Y10 comes in at 51 pounds with the same range. The Emove Cruiser is actually quite portable in that it folds up into a relatively small package of 49 by 10 by 14 inches. This is made possible by 3 parts being foldable: the stem itself, the stem also retracts, and the handlebars fold in. After folding, the stem locks in place so you can pick it up safely. One of my favorite parts of this scooter is the pin-style stem locking mechanism, because there is no wobble in the stem even after hundreds of miles. This is something many other more expensive scooters should be adopting. It folds down in 10 seconds, which is quite fast. I have taken this into restaurants and can fit it under the table or at my side without disturbing anyone. This scooter has a stated top speed of 28 miles per hour. If you have a long straightaway, you can actually get it up close to 30. Our survey testers confirmed all this with their average top speed being 27.5 miles per hour. The Cruiser is not speed limited. You simply need to change it from mode 1 to mode 3 on your display. While there are other scooters that have a higher top speed in this price range, such as the Nan Robot, 010X, and Q1, 25 to 30 miles per hour actually is just fine for regular commuting. In fact, going over 25 miles per hour feels very fast when you're near other cars and bicycles on the road. As the name implies, this scooter is meant for cruising, and it is tuned for that. This scooter has a 52-volt, 800-watt nominal, and 1,500-watt max motor. What makes this scooter different is that it is perfectly balanced for range and power. While other scooters in the price category will certainly beat it off the line, the Cruiser has a graceful acceleration curve, slowly working its way up to the top speed. This really helps with range, as the quick bursts of power tend to drain the battery and also lead to more frequent stops. Think of this scooter as a capable SUV rather than a jerky sports car. In fact, on our recent scooter road trip, this is the scooter I would show off to new riders. It won't throw them off like the Dualtron Thunder, but it is still powerful enough to put a smile on their face and leave them wanting more. Dan, what do you think?
I think it's great. Went all over Liberty Station, tried to find some little hills here and there to kind of go up. I went on grass and dirt and went off a curb.
How did it handle on all of this?
It handled really well. Tight corners. Thanks, Ben.
The extreme range of this scooter is made possible by a 1,586 watt-hour battery, the biggest battery in this price class. The Q1 Hummer, Nan Robot V8, and Joyor Y10 all have a 1,248 watt-hour battery. Most of the weight in this scooter is the battery, and that's the trade-off you get here. This is also not a quick charging battery. Basically, you need to charge it overnight, as it needs 6 to 8 hours to charge from empty. When it comes to tires, bigger is better for the electric scooters. Larger tires are more stable and will be safer when encountering road debris. Luckily, the Cruiser has 10-inch diameter tires. Those tires are air-filled or pneumatic, which is the tire type to choose for safety and performance. We expect to find these tires on a scooter in this price range and are glad to have them. The tires are covered by extended mud guards. We really appreciate the attention to detail on this scooter. The suspension of this scooter falls in line with the general theme, well balanced. They are not soft and springy like the 10X or pretty hard like the wide wheel. They will take you down a curb and handle rough terrain without a problem. The front suspension has coil-over hydraulic while the rear has an air suspension system. The Emove Cruiser has dual 144mm disc brakes. While some scooters in this price category only have one brake, we really appreciate having two powerful brakes to stop quickly. After logging hundreds of miles, we can say that they work well and will stop you in short order. However, after a few hundred miles of hard riding, we do notice the brakes start to squeak. This scooter has one of the highest max loads in the price class at 330 pounds. The only scooter that can carry more weight in this price class is the Q1 Hummer. Going with the theme of cruising, the lights on this scooter are certainly above average. There are 3 lights on the front. For a while we thought the lower 2 didn't work, but there is a button on the underside of the platform to turn them on. The largest front light is only mounted about a foot off the ground. For better visibility, we would like to see this mounted higher. For now, we recommend getting an additional light for the handlebars. See the link in the video description. The rear has 3 red lights. Even when the lights are turned off, the brakes activate the rear red lights. And when the lights are on, the middle light gets brighter when you brake. Lighting on this scooter is nearly as good as it gets, but we want everyone to have a helmet-mounted rear light so that cars can see you at night and from a distance. You can see our favorite light in the video description. The Emove Cruiser has the same uninspired gauges we see in most other electric scooters. There is a lot of information available on the display, including the ability to change from imperial to metric and adjust the speed modes. You can also see how long you've ridden and your trip odometer. All scooters that have this type of gauge also have less than ideal throttle placement. You need to use your right index finger to reach the throttle, which not only cramps your hand after a while, but also makes it more difficult to hit the brakes should you need to stop suddenly. We prefer a thumb-activated throttle. One of the biggest gripes I have about this model is that the grips rotate out of position when you're riding. I constantly find myself twisting them back into place every couple of miles. This is not a huge deal and is caused by some oil inside of the grips, so you can clean that out or use some grip tape to help with this problem. The platform has rubber guards on all 4 corners that act like bumpers on a car. They are valuable when bumping the scooter against the wall or someone's legs, as happens frequently when you use the scooter every day. Judging by the scratches we've already added to them, they are working. We also notice that the front cables are protected by a nylon sheath. This is something that few people will notice when buying a scooter, but really adds to the durability of this model. The stem to platform hinge also includes a variety of small loops that can be used to lock this scooter to bike locks. The horn, while you may laugh at the idea of using a horn on an electric scooter, can come in handy when a car suddenly cuts in front of you, or you simply want to let someone know you're there. This horn is the loudest I've ever heard on an electric scooter. This scooter also has turn signals. Yep, you've got an easy to activate turn signal that even makes a beeping sound so you don't forget to turn it off. Granted, the yellow lights are not bright, but we applaud Emove for this innovation. One complaint I had was when the scooter was new, one of the handlebars didn't automatically lock into place and it went down while I was cruising at about 20 miles per hour. Fortunately, I didn't go down with it. Now I remember to give the handlebars a quick upwards bump to set them, and I haven't had an issue since. The throttle position could be better, but you really can't fault this scooter since the same part is really used on most scooters out there. Also, the handlebar grips do not stay in place. Finally, after a few hundred miles, we did notice the brakes start to squeak. We give this scooter a 4 out of 5 for comfort. The ride is about as comfortable as you can get within $1,000 of this scooter. It has great suspension and large pneumatic tires. The only thing that would make it more comfortable would be a thumb throttle. While not as powerful as many, for commuting, we think Emove has done a superb job and give it a 5 out of 5 for power and acceleration. You can make it up all but the steepest hills in San Francisco. You won't necessarily be accelerating up the hills, but you'll get there. And for 99% of commutes, this will be enough. For safety, we give this scooter a 4 out of 5. 6 total lights, dual disc brakes, large pneumatic tires. If the throttle position was just at the thumb, so you could reach the brakes more easily and the front light was mounted a little bit higher, we would certainly give this a 5 out of 5. Finally, we give the scooter a 5 out of 5 for build quality. I would give it a 5 out of 5 just for the stem locking mechanism because it really is the best. After going on a road trip and riding the scooter for hundreds of miles over the last few weeks, It is one of the few we haven't broken. In fact, we haven't had any issues with this scooter at all, and it still feels 100% solid. The Emove Cruiser has earned the ESG Rider's Choice for its well-rounded commuting-friendly feature set and top-notch ride and build quality. With all the scooters that get it wrong, here's one scooter that gets it right. Please give us a thumbs up or subscribe to our channel for the latest electric scooter news and reviews.